So Slipknot is back with another new song, Bone Church, and, I think that's just the best way to drop a new track, is just to do it totally by surprise, rather than carefully planning everything. Sometimes it's just nice to not expect something and then just to get it. So no forewarning, just spring it on people. That's the best policy, I think. So I'm a little bit fashionably late, but I'm here and I'm ready to check it out. Before I do, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on socials. Linktree link will be in the description below. Also in the description is a link to my Patreon. Check it out for cool bonus content, or join Tier 4 on there to make a song request and push it to the head of the line, guaranteeing a reaction to it right away. Alright, gonna keep the intro super short, just want to dive into this. This of course includes the official music video. Hopefully it doesn't get blocked, fingers crossed. Now the full title of this is called Yen Director's Cut, and then in parentheses it says Bone Church. So I've got no clue what to expect here. I don't know if this is like a remake of a song from a previous album. It feels like this is going to be something new, and that's what I've been hearing from the news that's been dropping about this song. So it feels like this is going to be something fresh and original, and that's what I'm hoping for. But that's enough speculation. Let's check it out. Let's go. If I was coming up the stairs in a basement and I saw that in the doorway, I'd hope I'd be carrying a weapon or some shit. Yeah, I was not expecting that. Carnival-esque music. Hang on real quick. What am I watching? Is this an actual song? If this is the intro, it's a 6-minute long song, so it can probably be expected that this is probably just a long intro and the music is going to kick in. But it's just weird, man. It's there's some vaguely BDSM mask and face paint stuff happening and carnival music. And look, Slipknot is weird as hell, right? That's them sticking to their roots. So, not too much of a surprise there, but I'm just going to say it's particularly bizarre. The combination of things, of the sound and visuals. We're off to one hell of a question mark of a start. Let's continue. Also, I'm getting the Purge vibes a little bit, right? What the hell? Oh, we're getting some soft acoustic guitar? I know I'm talking a lot, but this is hitting different. Throw out some different energy for this one. I don't dislike it, though.
Burn my hands wrapped around the sun. Raise my walls, but the damage is done.
Okay, I like that really weird clicky sounding electronic beat happening. It's very, what this song reminds me of, if I had to compare it to any other Slipknot track, and this includes how Corey is very quietly singing up to this point. It vaguely makes me think of the song Circle off their Volume 3 album, and that's an album that I know very well, even though that I'm not a regular Slipknot listener, but that was the big album for me from them when I was a teenager and just getting into metal, the subliminal verses. So Circle on that record, this little part specifically right here is reminding me a little bit of that, but it still feels very much like its own thing. And again, different vibe for Slipknot. Very different, and I like the slow build-up. I feel like one of the things that maybe is a detracting quality for me from their newest music off their last couple of albums is that on a lot of songs, they tend to just dive into things. Even if it's a melodic or sadder song, they tend to just kind of blast right out of the gate. And you could kind of predict where it's going to go, like verse, chorus, verse, that whole thing. But this feels like much more of a slow, methodical, and carefully, thought out, meticulous build-up. And I like that. The intriguing factor is way up here so far. Very promising. Let's keep going.
I see bugs from the corner of my eyes. Just a shadow.
Gotta turn up the volume.
Figment, another empty lie. We kill what we love. We love what we kill.
I think I kind of love this. And this video's trippy as hell. It's right up my alley. This is so chill and dreamscapey. I really like it.
At my heart is a memory of the pain. I don't need a miracle.
Oh, that subtle guitar in the background. You hear that? That was that was a nice touch. Okay, it sounds like it's about to blow up and kind of get more heavy. So before that happens, let me just say, I really like the sort of, it feels meandering in a way, I suppose, but it's really not. It's just that it feels very, again, very dreamscapey. It's like a little bit trippy, and it matches very well with the video now. Now it makes sense. I really like this one, and I have to commend Slipknot for kind of going off formula. I gotta say it, and I don't mean this as a criticism, it's more of an observation, but a lot of Slipknot is very predictable in terms of the song structure. I just know the beats they're gonna hit. Even if every song sounds different, sounds unique in its own way, structurally speaking, I know the beats they're gonna hit. They tend to not surprise me very much in that regard. But here, this is very different. They're seriously changing it up, and I really like that. This is kind of what I want from them. I want them to be more experimental. I want them to be more daring and not be afraid to take musical risks. And I think for a lot of Slipknot fans, this might be a musical risk. Sure, fans are used to Slipknot doing their softer tracks, their more dark and brooding kind of tracks. But maybe not in this particular direction. I don't know. And of course, you maggots have to let me know in the comments how you feel about this. But so far, I really am getting into this quite a bit. Let's get back to it. Oh, that electrical sounding synthesizer. Quality. This part right here almost feels like a little trip hoppy.
Blinded storms, the ignorant rush.
I really like this beat.
Another coward, another cripple, another savior in the light. Don't take the place of my sins.
The way he slowly dials up his vocals. Okay, I gotta say something that's gonna get probably a lot of criticism from Slipknot fans, but I gotta be honest, I'm not shying away from the honesty. That's what I'm here to do. A lot of their music videos, I find their imagery to be a bit corny, to be a bit cheesy, and a little bit over the top, and not in a way that I really feel, works for the video and what it's trying to accomplish. It feels a little bit too edgy and like it's trying to be edgy. And, I don't know if Slipknot has any say in what the visuals are in the video, or to what degree. That might come down to the record label, whoever directed the videos. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you know. But a lot of their visuals, I can't take them seriously. There are some exceptions, like The Devil and I thought that video was very good. I thought that was really cool. But a lot of the other videos, they come off kind of cheesy to me. I can't help but just think that way. This one, though, is not like that at all. I really am digging this video. It's simple in a certain way, but just the camera angles and the way they sort of blur and stretch images, and the things they do with the color scheme and the aesthetic, it all makes for a very trippy, a little bit disorienting video. And that's the exact kind of imagery and visual that I like. So I'm really engaged in the video just as much as the music. And both are fitting very well together, thematically speaking. So, let's continue. This makes such good use of nuance when it comes to the instruments and the atmosphere. Well, there's more. Okay, and we're done. Let me just say this. I wonder if the music video is going to connect to future music videos and future songs. Like, is this the first new song off an upcoming record? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking that this was a one-off release. That's what I seem to have gathered from the little bits of news that I've read about this. And the fact that this is also called Yen Director's Cut, which harkens back to a previous song that they did, that kind of strengthens, the notion that I have that this is like a one-off song. So that leads to my next question is, if that's the case, and this video is not meant to be connected to anything else, what story is it trying to tell? Because I love the imagery, I loved everything happening in the video, I thought the way that it was done was spectacular, but I don't exactly know what story it was trying to tell. And maybe it wasn't trying to. Maybe it's just purposefully left open to interpretation. That could very much be the case. But it's left me wondering, and if anyone has further information, of course, let me know. But as it stands, I really like the visuals, and it went along very well with the music. And let's talk about the music, man, because this was different. This was Slipknot wandering into new territory for me. It was them actually venturing to borrow influence, I think, from a lot of other genres and styles, I think. From everything like classic rock to like some stoner rock to like some psychedelic kind of stuff. It just felt like Slipknot was really changing up their formula. And this wasn't like your typical verse, chorus, verse. Again, it was not predictable. It was not typical by any means. And for that, I really have to give respect to this band, because they did something that I had begun to doubt that they were any longer capable of. Like, if you look back at their earlier records, I think there are many examples of them kind of thinking outside of the box and playing far outside of the box in terms of their sound. And I'm not saying that they don't still do that, but I am saying that, in my personal opinion, based on a lot of the newer Slipknot that I've heard, I have found that the band seems to play it safe more often than not. And it seems to stick to what, dare I say, it might be a crowd pleaser at a concert, or, what might sound catchy, basically sacrificing darkness and heaviness for the sake of catchiness. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because that's really what I think about a lot of their new material. I have certainly enjoyed particular songs that they've released on their last 2 or 3 albums, but I have not been super excited and super into what I've heard in general from their new records in comparison with their older work. And I know that's probably a criticism that people roll their eyes at, especially Slipknot fans, like, oh, okay, you want them to sound like Iowa, right? Like, every band has to change and grow. They're not at the age or in the place in life they were at when they recorded Iowa. They're older now, they're more mature, they have a different perspective. They're growing as musicians. And to that I say, that's all well and good. That's what you want out of a band, I agree. You want that evolution, you don't want them to stagnate. You want them to continue to push the boundaries. But what I'm saying is that I feel they haven't pushed the boundaries enough in recent times. I feel that they've played it too safe and played it too close to what has come to be their formula and their expected sound. This song defies that, and this song is an example of them continuing to evolve and experiment. And that's what I like, and that's one of the strongest reasons that I like the song a lot. And it wasn't even really a heavy song, even by Slipknot standards. And you guys know, if you've watched my previous reactions, that when it comes to this band, I really like when they go hard. I like when they go heavy. But look, if they can do something with nuance and expertise and finesse without going heavy, and it can still sound really good, then hey, I respect that. And this sounded really damn good. I like that weird electronic percussion. I like the subtle and creeping way that transitionary moments happened in this song, and ways that it slowly escalated. And a lot of that is owed to Corey's talent with his voice, going from like a soft, darker croon to his more typical, we'll say more aggressive, more aggro-sounding voice. And he made that transition incrementally, and he did it very, very well, because it wasn't sudden, it wasn't jarring. It was a very good, increase. Like I said, the way he dialed it up with his voice was just very good. It was, it showed talent, and it showed patience, and it showed mastery over his vocal ability. That was all on display, and I just thought that the build-up and the brooding sense that this song had, and the kind of like macabre energy that it had, and so did the video, by the way. I think that was all excellent. I think this harkens back to a kind of darkness that I haven't felt from Slipknot since that album, Volume 3. Like, listen to songs like, when we talk about softer songs by this band, go listen to songs like Danger, Keep Away, or Circle. There was a darkness on those songs without there being a heaviness. And that's what this song also achieved, while also, again, venturing to do something different and shake things up a bit. So I thought this was excellent. I thought this was fantastic musically. I'm really impressed. I seriously am. These guys have surprised me in the best way. And to that I say, look, this is an example of a band this far along in their career that can still be inventive and reinventive and do new things. And you have to respect that. That's really cool. I thought they nailed it on this one. If this was the vibe they were going for, they achieved it. And then some. So good. All right, let's get to the lyrics. Burn my hands wrapped around the sun. Raise my walls, but the damage is done. I see bugs from the corner of my eyes. Just a shadow, a figment, another empty lie. We kill what we love what we kill. Nothing ever changes, nothing ever will. At my heart is a memory of the pain. I don't need a miracle. Prayers will not save me again. Do no harm, reminders of the flesh, blinded storms, the ignorance of ash. One man's jewel is another's moist eye. Another coward, another cripple, another savior in the light. Don't take the place of my sins. Prayers will not save me again. So as lyrical content goes, Corey seems to have kept it short and to the point on this one. Or maybe not so to the point, because it's a little abstract. Flexible in the sense that it could apply to numerous things, or have multiple meanings. But that's the openness to interpretation that we like to see here on this channel. So let's take a deeper dive. So immediately, he's using kind of big, profound concepts to communicate how he's feeling. Burn my hands wrapped around the sun. And if you go back to the song title, Bone Church, this might be a stretch, but people used to worship the sun. And I think that he's basically referring to something so much bigger than one human being. Something someone tries to hold on to, whether it's faith or an ideal. something that burns the person in the end because they're chasing something in a self-destructive way. And maybe this song is Corey taking a very big macro approach to looking at relationships and friendships, the two-sided nature of them, and the idea that pain is inextricably connected to love, which is true. And which would make sense, I think, when you read the next verse. We kill what we love what we kill. Nothing ever changes, oh, nothing ever will. It's like the conundrum of interpersonal relationships, right? And I've had friendships where it feels like I'm putting in a lot of work. Like, it doesn't feel like it's all fun and leisure. And it feels draining. But at the end of the day, there's also something rewarding about it. But at the same time, you have to weigh that balance because there are tons of people who really will drain the life from you. And I think this might be about Corey giving and giving of himself to others and feeling used up and in pain as a result. He says, at my heart is a memory of the pain. I don't need a miracle. Prayers will not save me again. So it's like he wants to believe in something larger than life, something to put faith in, and as if that would somehow explain or excuse why people are the way they are. And I think a lot of people look to faith for that particular answer to that particular question, right? Like, why are people like this? There has to be someone out there who is simple, who will love me or care about me the way that I want them to, and without grief, without any trials or, aggravation or hurdles for me to overcome. Why can't it just be easy, right? But in the end, as far as Corey's perspective goes on this song, it's a bone church. It's a graveyard. There's nothing tangible there to hold on to. So I think that this could be about despair in the absence of faith and in the midst of failing relationships and also betrayal and hurt. Of course, speaking from, my current experience, if you're with the right person and you have the trust and the maturity and the communication, then that's fine. But that's an increasingly rare thing. And whether we're talking about relationships or just friendships, a lot of people aren't loyal anymore. And a lot of it has become either transactional or completely vapid, just a name on a screen, and ending the friendship is just a single click away. And that happens all the time. People are tossed aside when they become inconvenient or when they don't fit into the increasingly narrowing parameters of someone's comfort zone. And people love their comfort zones these days. And often that comes down to, oh, you don't agree with my politics, so let's stop being friends after being close for so many years. Or with metalheads, it sometimes comes down to, oh, you like poser music, so let's stop being friends. Obviously, not all metalheads. I'm just talking about the gatekeepers and the elitists, which a lot of metalheads have no patience for valid reasons. But look, I had an experience with this last year. Not with the metal thing, but just with the friendship thing. When someone I considered to be a best friend, who I'd been close with for 14 years, decided to end the friendship because he started reading psychology books and determined that I didn't fit in with his values or his standards. Which, I respect the honesty behind it, but I don't respect the actual behavior behind it. And of course he totally missed the irony in all of this. The fact that he was the one rejecting the values of loyalty and acceptance of others. And I don't respect him for doing that. And I'm sorry that I wasted so many years on him when that was what it amounted to in the end. Look, my time could have been much more well spent on someone who appreciates who I am. And people are people, but again, fickle and vapid. And I'm sorry that I had to say that about someone who I held in a higher regard and in much higher esteem than that. So I think Corey is feeling generally the same way, and I think that he's talking about people like that when he says, another coward, another cripple, another savior in the light. And that last line in particular circles back to the religious language used in these lyrics. And I think what that means is that when people's heads get too big, when they start to think that they're right and everyone else is wrong, that's when they become so arrogant that they just toss aside others at a moment's convenience. And that's where you see all these people online who are deleting people left and right, no political pun intended, for not agreeing with them. It is so fucking stupid. And I think that translates to actual relationships too. Like, I've heard about relationships ending and marriages failing and families being torn apart just because someone had a different religion or lack of religion, or because they voted for someone else, or because the other person had an abrupt lifestyle change and now their partner no longer fits into their idealized new worldview. And it's all so fucking petty and shallow. And I think people feel confident about their very rash decisions right now when they're young. But look, when they're in their 50s and 60s and 70s, I think there's going to be a lot of fucking depression a few decades from now. More than there is today, if you can imagine that. And I think many of these people are going to feel deep regret and shame for not valuing other people. And they're going to be left alone in the world. And that's, what it amounts to. I think bone church would be a good term for it. It's the sum total of a lack of care and empathy for other people. So everyone who acts that way might as well be dead already. Harsh words, but true words. And I think Corey does a good job of relaying that message here, if that is what he's trying to say. So, yeah, I mean, again, lyrically, relatively to the point, and, there's certainly brevity here, but what he does with it, he says a few things that I think need to be said and need to be heard. So, lyrically, I would say that it's decent, and musically, much more than decent. I think it was excellent. Once again, a job very, very well done. So, if Slipknot can still surprise me this far in their career, I'm going to stick with checking out their music. The next new thing they release, once it hits my radar, I'll be reacting. So, in the meantime, leave your comments down below. Let's start a discussion. Fill in the blanks if you know something about this band or this song that I don't. I always like to learn and be educated. And, of course, check out my Patreon, link below, if you want a special tier where you can make a song request and get a reaction to it right away. Other than that, there's more content on the way. Much love to the Nuclear family. And until next time, I will catch you all very soon.